In this video, we're going to be looking at the interior angles of a triangle. Interior, of course, being on the inside, the angles that are inside of a triangle. Okay, what we did in a previous grade when we investigated triangles, we actually cut off the three angles of our triangle, and when we put them together, the three angles created a straight angle right here, meaning that the sum of the angles of a triangle is always 180 degrees. Okay, so that's a very important fact to remember anytime that you're working with the interior angles of a triangle. The three interior angles of a triangle must add up to 180 degrees. And so in our first example, I know two of the measures of my angles, but I need to figure out this third interior angle. And I can easily do that by making an equation. The unknown angle x plus the 92 degree angle plus the 55 degree angle all have to add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so the next thing that we can do, we can actually combine 92 with 55. And if we add those together, then we're going to have x plus 147 equals 180. And then if we subtract the 147 from each side, x, our unknown angle, is going to have to be 33 degrees. All right. Making it a little more algebraic, notice that each angle is represented by an algebraic expression. I don't know the measure of any of these angles, but my idea, my process is going to be similar to what I did in the first example. I'm going to take my three angles, I'm going to add them together, and I know the sum of the three interior angles adds up to 180 degrees. So the angle 4x plus 17 plus the angle 12x minus 23 plus the angle 2x plus 42 is going to be equal to 180 degrees. All right. What we can do now is combine our similar terms. All right. If we take 4x and 12x, that's 16x plus 2x is 18x. All right, and then we add it to 17 minus 23, which is negative 6, plus 42, which is positive 36. All of this just becomes 18x plus 36 equal to 180. Now we can subtract 36 on each side. And if we do that, 18x is going to have a value of 144. And now in order to figure out the value of x, I'm going to divide each side by 18. And when I do that, well, x is going to be equal to 8. 144 divided by 18 is 8. Now to get my three angle measures, I'm just going to substitute 8 in for x. So starting with this angle here, all right, 2x plus 42 becomes 2 times 8 plus 42. 2 times 8 is 16, and if you add 42 to that, you get 58 degrees. So that is a 58 degree angle. My angle up here, 12x minus 23, becomes 12 times 8 minus 23. And then 12 times 8 is 96. And if you subtract 96 and 23, you get 73 degrees for that angle there. And now my angle 4x plus 17, that becomes 4 times 8 plus 17, which is 32 plus 17. And we add those together for 49 degrees. All right, and again, you can always do a check to make sure that you've you've calculated your numbers correctly. If you add 49 plus 73 plus 58, you do get 180 degrees. In my next couple of pictures, I'm going to calculate every missing angle that's in the picture. All right, so looking at my picture on the left, I've got three different vertices. I've got one here, I've got one here, and I've got one here. And in each place, I gave you one angle. That means that there's three missing angles at each vertex. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have enough information to figure out the measure of each angle in the picture. So let's start down here where I gave you the 150 degree angle. Okay, I know this is 150 degrees, and I know that this angle and this angle, if I put them together, form a straight angle, meaning that they're supplementary. So these two angles have to add up to 180. Well, if that's 150, then this must be 30 degrees. And now that I've got intersecting lines, I can use vertical angles to get the other two angles. Vertical angles are non-adjacent. They're across from the point of intersection, and they are congruent. So this angle up here must be 150 degrees. And this 30 is vertical to this angle, which means that this is a 30-degree angle. Looking at where I've got 62 degrees now, so I've got to figure out these three missing angles here. Well, this angle here and this angle here form the straight angle, meaning that they are supplementary. So to get the measure of this angle right down here, I'm going to have to do 180 minus 62, which means that this is a 118-degree angle. And then I can use my vertical angle fact again to figure out the other missing angles. All right, 62 is vertical to this angle here, which means that this is 62 degrees. And 118 is vertical to this angle, which means that this is 118 degrees. Now I've got my 92-degree angle right here, three missing angles. Let's use the fact that this angle and this angle here are supplementary because they form this straight angle. So to get this angle, I'm going to do 180 minus 92, which means that this is 88 degrees. And now this angle, 88 degrees, is vertical to this angle, which means that this is also 88 degrees. And 92 is vertical to this angle, which means that this is 92 degrees. Our picture on the right is going to be very similar, but notice this time I only gave you two angle measures. At this vertex, I didn't give you any angles, but that is enough information for us to get every missing angle in the picture. So let's start up here with the 50-degree angle, okay? This is 50 degrees, and 50 degrees here and this angle here make the straight angle here, so they're supplementary, meaning that this angle then must be 130 degrees. 50 plus 130 is 180. And now 50 is vertical to this angle up here, so this is 50 degrees. And 130 is vertical to this angle, so this is 130 degrees. Moving down here where I've got my 80-degree angle right here, this angle and this angle here are supplementary, so these two angles have to add up to 180. Well, if that's 80, then this angle here must be 100 degrees. 80 here is vertical to this angle here, which means that this is 80 degrees. And 100 is vertical to this angle here, which means that this is 100 degrees. Now we've got to come to the place where there are no given angles, but we do have enough information from our picture because these three intersecting lines actually form a triangle right here. There's a nice triangle right there, and we know that the three interior angles of the triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. So this is 80, this is 50, together that's 130, and 180 minus 130 means that this angle down here must be 50 degrees. And now I can get the other angles in the picture, all right? This 50 and this angle here are supplementary because they form the straight angle. So this is a 130-degree angle. And now 50 here is vertical to 50 here. And 130 here is vertical to 130 here. So we can use the different facts, the different angle relationships that we learned from previous lessons, as well as the fact that the interior angles add up to 180 in order to figure out all the missing angles in both pictures. In each of my pictures of triangles here, I don't have the measure of any of the interior angles, so I'm going to have to calculate the measure of each angle algebraically. We'll start with this picture over here. I know that my three interior angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So the angle labeled B plus the angle labeled 2B plus the angle labeled B plus 16, those three angles have to add up to 180 degrees. B plus 2B plus B simplifies to 4B. So this is 4B plus 16 equals 180. And now I'm going to isolate 4B by subtracting 16 on each side. When I do that, 4B has a value of 164. And now I'll go ahead and divide each side by 4, which means that B is equal to 41. So I now know this angle up here is a 41-degree angle. All right, this angle here labeled as 2B, I'm just going to do 2 times 41 because that's the value of B, which means that this is an 82-degree angle. And finally, my angle B plus 16, I'm going to make that 41 plus 16, which is going to be 57. So this is a 57-degree angle. And again, I can check that very easily. If I add 41, 57, and 82, I get 180 degrees. Similar story with this picture here. I know that my three interior angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So this angle C plus this angle up here, which they've called C minus 20, plus this angle here, which they've called C minus 10, adds up to 180 degrees. C plus C plus C is 3C. Negative 20 and negative 10 is negative 30. So 3C minus 30 is 180. Adding 30 to each side will isolate 3C, and 3C is going to be equal to 210. And so if we divide each side by 3, then C must be equal to 70. So this angle here is a 70-degree angle. To get C minus 20, 70 minus 20 means that this is a 50-degree angle here. And to get C minus 10, 70 minus 10 is 60, so this is a 60-degree angle. And once again, if I add these together, 70 and 50 is 120, plus 60 is 180 degrees.